Being strange nowadays can be another kind of headache. People staring, talking about them behind your back, and some even laughing in front of extraordinary individuals. Sometimes we encounter faces so unusual and completely new that we start wondering how a human can live with that or manage daily tasks. There are also faces that look completely unreal, almost like dolls, and some whose strangeness can make you want to scream. All of these are part of this video, because today we have the list of 15 people who look too unreal to be human. Let's quickly check them out. Number 15. Isaac Johnson, the teen with a record-breaking mouth gape. A mouth gape measuring 3.67 inches represents an extreme deviation from typical human jaw mobility achieved through a combination of ligament elasticity, joint flexibility, and jawbone configuration. In most adults, the range of maximal mouth opening is approximately 2.5 inches, making Isaac's capacity exceptional. The temporomandibular joint and associated musculature demonstrate unusual flexibility, permitting a jaw extension far beyond ordinary limits. Such anatomical variation enables unusual oral manipulation, including the accommodation of objects considerably larger than standard oral dimensions. The interplay between soft tissue elasticity and skeletal morphology in this configuration is of interest in comparative anatomical studies, highlighting how musculoskeletal structures can adapt to extreme functions. Additionally, jaw alignment in such cases must balance mobility with functional occlusion to prevent strain or injury. Measurement of such extreme openings requires precise instrumentation to ensure reproducibility and accuracy. Factors influencing this ability include genetic predisposition, ligament laxity, and craniofacial dimensions. Number 14. Tilda Swinton, the androgynous actress. Facial and skeletal proportions contribute to the perception of androgyny, particularly through a combination of soft jaw contours, high cheekbones, and wide-set eyes. Neutral jawline structure reduces gendered visual cues typically associated with prominent mandibles or heavy brow ridges. Subtle variations in facial tissue distribution influence the appearance of symmetry, producing a balance between traditionally masculine and feminine features. Bone alignment along the mid-face and zygomatic arches creates elongation of the facial plane, while minimal subcutaneous fat emphasizes angularity without exaggerating facial mass. The positioning of ocular orbits and the shape of the nasal bridge interact with light and shadow, further enhancing a non-binary aesthetic. Skin tone, hairline configuration, and soft tissue density contribute to a consistent visual impression that appears ethereal or unusual in conventional contexts. The combination of these anatomical factors demonstrates how minor structural differences can result in highly distinctive facial characteristics. Number 13. Anya Taylor-Joy, the wide-eyed star. Hypertelorism, the increased distance between ocular orbits, defines the wide-eyed appearance, influencing both the perception of facial symmetry and overall expressiveness. Eye spacing interacts with other craniofacial dimensions, such as the nasal bridge width and cheekbone elevation, to create an impression of elongation across the midface. Large orbital cavities allow enhanced exposure of the iris, modifying visual impact and light reflection, while subtle bone structure variations around the orbital rims maintain balanced facial proportion. Forehead height, jawline delicacy, and soft tissue distribution further modulate perceived angles and curvature, complementing orbital placement. Differences in orbital and mid-facial morphology affect spatial ratios that determine aesthetic distinctiveness, demonstrating how structural variations produce visually uncommon features. The combination of skeletal alignment, orbital diameter, and soft tissue contours contributes to a facial configuration that is rare in population samples. Number 12. Whitney Weldon, living with Stoneman syndrome. Fibrodysplasia. Ossificans progressiva, FOP, is a rare genetic condition characterized by the progressive ossification of muscle and connective tissue, producing rigid skeletal-like formations outside normal bone structure. Individuals with FOP experience episodic flare-ups that convert soft tissue into bone, limiting joint mobility and reducing flexibility over time. Whitney Weldon exhibits characteristic skeletal changes in her limbs and torso, where abnormal ossification creates functional constraints affecting posture, walking, and manual dexterity. The condition originates from mutations affecting the ACVR1 gene, leading to abnormal bone morphogenetic protein signaling and uncontrolled heterotopic ossification. Clinical observation reveals gradual restriction of joint range, often beginning in early childhood, and the fusion of axial and appendicular skeletal segments. FOP's progression is unpredictable, with connective tissue ossifying at variable rates depending on trauma, inflammation, or genetic factors. Rare worldwide, FOP affects fewer than 1,000 individuals. Number 11. Robert Zidar, the man with the giant chin. Cherubism, the condition affecting Robert Zidar, is a genetic craniofacial disorder that results in excessive growth of the jawbone and cheeks, often producing a pronounced protruding chin. This condition arises from mutations in the SH3BP2 gene, which regulate osteoclast activity, leading to abnormal bone deposition in the mandible and maxilla. The overgrowth of bone creates facial asymmetry, particularly in the lower jaw, with thickened cortical bone and widened mandibular angles. Cherubism typically manifests in childhood and stabilizes in adulthood, leaving structural changes that are permanent. The altered mandible and chin proportions influence occlusion, bite alignment, and facial balance, producing a visual profile that appears unusual compared to standard craniofacial morphology. Soft tissue adaptation occurs over the enlarged skeletal framework, shaping the lips and surrounding skin to accommodate the underlying structure. Functional assessment shows minor effects on mastication in mild cases, though pronounced overgrowth can influence speech and chewing mechanics. Number 10. Yu Jiangxia, the woman with record-breaking eyelashes. Natural eyelashes of extreme length, such as those observed in Yu Jiangxia, can measure up to 12.4 centimeters, a dimension far exceeding average eyelash length, which typically ranges from 0.8 to 1.2 centimeters. This unusual hair growth results from genetic factors affecting hair follicle development and growth cycles, including prolonged anagen phases that allow continued elongation. Longer eyelashes alter the microenvironment of the eye, potentially affecting light filtration, tear distribution, and eyelid mechanics. Structural analysis indicates increased keratinization and rigidity along the follicular shaft, supporting sustained length without breakage. Dense and lengthy lashes can enhance ocular protection from particulate matter and sunlight while creating a striking visual effect. Follicle morphology, growth direction, and follicle density are crucial in maintaining these lengths, as irregularities could result in curling or fragility. Number 9. Seal, the celebrity with dramatic skin scars. Discoid lupus erythematosus is a chronic autoimmune condition that primarily affects the skin, producing lesions, scarring, and pigment changes. In Seal's case, the facial manifestations include extensive scarring across the cheeks and forehead, resulting from persistent inflammatory activity within dermal layers. The condition disrupts normal collagen architecture and melanocyte distribution, leading to irregular pigmentation and textural variations. Healing of lesions often involves fibrotic tissue deposition, which contributes to visible ridges and indented patterns in the skin surface. The condition typically progresses in cycles, with periods of active inflammation followed by stabilization, producing permanent topographical changes. Photoprotection and topical interventions can mitigate some lesion development, but cannot fully reverse fibrotic outcomes. Structural changes in epidermal and dermal layers can alter tactile and visual properties of skin, affecting perception of facial symmetry and texture. The next one is more strange than you think. Number 8. Lee Redmond, the woman who grew the longest nails. Fingernail growth is driven by the activity of the nail matrix, where keratinocytes proliferate and harden to form elongated structures. Lee Redmond achieved extraordinary nail length, with each nail extending over several feet, far surpassing the normal nail growth of approximately 3 millimeters per month. Such extreme elongation requires prolonged, uninterrupted growth, careful maintenance, and avoidance of trauma, as mechanical stress can cause fractures or detachment. The nail's mass and curvature create significant alterations to hand ergonomics, affecting grip, articulation, and range of motion. Structural analysis shows that keratin density and layering remain consistent despite extraordinary length, maintaining strength while preventing excessive fragility. Nail plate thickness, lunula integrity, and cuticle health are critical in supporting growth over extended distances. The hand and finger posture adapt to accommodate the added weight and length, demonstrating how soft, keratinous tissue can achieve mechanical stability at extreme scales. Number 7. Hans Langseth, the man with the longest beard in history. Beard length is influenced by genetic factors regulating hair follicle cycles, particularly prolonged anagen phases, which permit continuous growth. Hans Langseth's beard, measuring over 5 meters at the time of measurement, exemplifies the extreme of terminal hair elongation, surpassing typical adult male beard growth that averages 10 to 15 centimeters per year. Hair shafts maintain structural integrity through keratin cross-linking and follicular health, allowing extraordinary length without breakage under controlled conditions. The distribution of hair follicles along the jawline, chin, and neck provides dense coverage that contributes to overall visual continuity despite length. Mechanical properties, including tensile strength and elasticity, enable the beard to extend vertically without snapping under gravity, while the follicle's sebaceous activity supports hair health and sheen. Morphological examination indicates uniform diameter along the shaft, consistent pigmentation, and minimal tapering, factors that contribute to the beard's notable uniformity and record-breaking measurement. Beauty plus blender. The next one is the Number 6. Taylor Alexis Moule, the human chimera. A human chimera arises from the fusion of two separate embryos early in development, resulting in one individual carrying two distinct sets of DNA. In cases where skin pigmentation differs between the two cell lines, the division can become visibly striking, as demonstrated by Taylor Alexis Moule. One side of the torso displays lighter pigmentation, while the opposite side is darker, reflecting differential melanocyte populations. Hair growth, vascular patterns, and minor textural variations may align with the pigmented regions, producing a natural midline contrast. Cellular mosaicism in chimeras can extend internally, affecting blood type, immune markers, and organ composition. The phenomenon provides a rare insight into embryonic cell migration, tissue colonization, and gene expression, revealing how developmental biology can create visible variations in humans. Number 5. Brahim Taqiullah, towering giant with extraordinary feet. Giant stature results from excessive growth hormone secretion during childhood and adolescence, often due to pituitary hyperactivity. Brahim Taqiullah's height exceeds standard ranges, accompanied by unusually large feet, which serve as structural supports for his elevated body mass. The feet display enlarged metatarsals and tarsal bones to distribute weight and maintain balance. Ligaments and muscles adapt to these changes, allowing functional movement despite extreme proportions. Skeletal elongation is not limited to the feet, but occurs across long bones, creating a proportional yet extraordinary frame. Vascular and neurological systems adjust to accommodate the increased extremity length, maintaining circulation and sensation. Biomechanics, including gait and posture, differ significantly from the average population, demonstrating adaptations of the musculoskeletal system under extreme conditions. Number 4. Rondo Hatton. Acromegaly, caused by prolonged excess growth hormone, produces dramatic craniofacial changes. Rondo Hatton's facial bones thickened, enlarging the jaw, brow, and forehead, while cartilage growth in the nose and ears added to a distinct, exaggerated appearance. Soft tissues expanded concurrently, thickening lips, cheeks, and tongue, which altered facial contours. The condition also affected vertebrae and shoulder bones, requiring musculoskeletal adaptation to maintain balance and mobility. Bone deposition patterns during acromegaly are uneven, leading to pronounced angles and unusual profiles. Prolonged exposure to elevated hormone levels determines the severity and speed of skeletal remodeling. Thickened periosteum, combined with soft tissue hypertrophy, produces facial features that appear visually extreme yet functionally integrated. Cranial morphology, dental spacing, and jaw mechanics are all impacted, providing a comprehensive example of how endocrine disruption can shape human anatomy, resulting in a natural but strikingly unusual physical form. Number 3. Jamie Keaton, the man who can stick metal to his skin. Jamie Keaton exhibits an unusual condition known as acquired cutaneous adherence, in which metals and other small objects adhere to his skin with apparent ease. The phenomenon is thought to involve an interaction between skin texture, sebaceous secretions, and minor electrostatic forces, creating temporary adhesion. The surface of the skin appears slightly tacky, yet remains healthy and flexible, allowing normal movement while objects cling to it. Examination of skin topography shows micro-level ridges and grooves that may enhance the contact area, increasing friction between skin and metallic surfaces. Follicular density and keratin layer composition also contribute to mechanical grip. While the precise biochemical mechanisms remain under investigation, the condition demonstrates how structural properties of human skin can produce unexpected physical effects without artificial enhancement. Number 2. Roy Lee Rocky Dennis. Craniodiaphyseal dysplasia is an exceptionally rare genetic disorder characterized by abnormal calcium deposition in the craniofacial skeleton. Roy Lee Rocky Dennis exhibited profound thickening of the skull, jaw, and facial bones, producing unusually wide and prominent craniofacial contours. The condition affects osteoblast and osteoclast regulation, leading to dense, irregular bone growth that distorts normal anatomical proportions. Orbital spacing, nasal structure, and mandibular alignment are altered, influencing vision, respiratory pathways, and oral mechanics. Musculature and soft tissues adjust to skeletal expansion, producing functional but visually atypical facial profiles. Dental arrangement, bite alignment, and cranial symmetry are also impacted by uneven bone deposition. Progressive in nature, craniodiaphyseal dysplasia creates extreme craniofacial characteristics that remain consistent across developmental stages. Number 1. People with Aarskog syndrome. Aarskog syndrome is a rare X-linked genetic disorder producing distinct craniofacial, skeletal, and digital anomalies. Typical traits include wide-set eyes, short stature, a broad forehead, flattened mid-face, and unusually shaped hands and feet. The condition arises from mutations in the FGD1 gene, which influences skeletal and connective tissue development, altering bone growth patterns during early childhood. Muscular attachments and joint orientation adapt to these structural differences, producing recognizable postural and movement variations. Facial morphology often includes a short nose with a rounded tip, mild mandibular underdevelopment, and subtle lip contour differences, all resulting from the underlying skeletal framework. Limb anomalies such as clinodactyly or brachydactyly may accompany broader hand and foot proportions, affecting grip and locomotion mechanics. So, that's all from us. Share your reactions in the comments, compare perspectives with friends, and spread the fascination by sharing this video. Subscribing ensures you won't miss future explorations of rare and remarkable phenomena, keeping the channel vibrant and engaging. Your insights, likes, and shares make a meaningful impact, encouraging more content that highlights the uncommon and striking aspects of humanity. Thank you for taking the time to engage and for valuing the uniqueness that makes people so fascinating. It truly means a lot.